A very good evening to you and welcome to Big Talk here on Global Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. Well, you can join the conversation on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen, and you can also download the Global Television app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I will begin the first conversation today from the angle of the People's Democratic Party. Well, let me bring a background to this conversation first. There was an announcement made by the FCTA about shutting down some organizations and some houses that have not been able to meet up certain criteria. Even this was made by the FCT authority. Let's take a look at this video. We'll come back to the second part of all of this, then we marry them up together and see what's going on even in the shutting down of the PDP house here in Abuja. Let's take a look.
As from Monday, May 26, 2025, the FCTA will begin to take possession of the affected properties using relevant agencies of the government. As usual, this will be done without consideration as to ownership of the affected properties. It will be purely in line with the extant laws and regulations guiding the process. Recall too that a grace of 21 days was given to title holders that were in default of payment of ground rent for between 1 and 10 years to pay up or have their land title revoked. It is important to state that payment of ground rent on landed properties in the FCT is founded on extant legislation. It is clearly stipulated in the terms and conditions of grant of right of occupancy, and it is due for payment on the first day of January every year without demand. In March this year, list of land titles in default of payment of ground rent was compiled in the 10 oldest districts of Phase 1 of the Federal Capital City, namely Central Area District, Cadastral Zone OA00, Garki 1, Wuse 2, Garki 2, Azoko, Maitama 1, and Musape.
We are going to commence the process of processing these properties by the Federal Capital Territory Administration. This includes reconnaissance visit to the areas affected and the properties concerned, and then serving seal notice as well as sealing the premises.
A total of about 6 billion 967 million 980,119 naira was payable by 8,375 property owners as of March 2025.
All right, so let's bring you up to speed to this old conversation. First, people will say that the People's Democratic Party National Secretariat, as it stands right now, is being sealed by the FCTA. But prior to this time, this report came in on Friday, which they said that by Monday they will commence with the sealing of properties and of individuals, organizations, whatever, that refuse to pay certain amount of money, which is part of the entitlement of that grants and also some of the provisions by the extant laws within the Federal Capital Territory. But just today, earlier today, we saw the FCTA swift into action of sealing the People's Democratic Party Secretariat, National Party Secretariat as it stands. But let's take a look at this video. We'll come back with the rest of the conversation.
Where is that thing? I couldn't. That thing. Up is better. Don't call me. When we say people should come out, you are just making a talk. We are going to see it. They are coming. Yes, Abba. See, can we take the seal? Let's take it.
Welcome back. But let's look at all of this conversation right now. We're even in the PDP's camp, and I'm being joined right now by James Ezama, who is a political analyst, and we're talking about this old concern as the first part of the conversation. And the second part of the conversation, we're talking about the coalition between the Labour Party, between the Labour Party, the members of the All Progressive Congress, members of the People's Democratic Party, the SDP, the ADC, and other political parties that are involved. But first, let me welcome you, James Ezama, to the Big Talk.
Thank you very much. And glad to be here.
Well, today has been filled with a lot of activities, as you can see from what we've played out so far. But people say that this is winch hunting on the People's Democratic Party, despite the fact that the FCTA have given a mandate from Friday, even prior to this time, a mandate has been given. But looking at all of this, what's your take on the sealing of the premises of the People's Democratic Party's National Secretariat?
Well, it is something that is very, very, it's something actually to describe it is because I don't see the reason why a political party like People's Democratic Party will have its national headquarters premises under construction revoked, and then the place where you are using as your national headquarters in the meantime is also being sealed because you are owing ground rent. So it is something that one cannot actually describe because we know that all around all this while we have been hearing the FCDA talking about some of these things, and I don't know why the PDP should wait and until now before action could be taken. So I don't see any. It is actually a shame, really, on the part of the People's Democratic Party that this kind of thing should be allowed to happen. It is an embarrassment to the party. It's an embarrassment to Nigerians who are members of the party, and I see no reason why PDP, at least PDP has some governors who are still in office. They cannot say that they cannot afford to pay ground rent. And then PDP also has been a ruling party for 16 years. And within that 16 years, they were not able to build their own, complete the building of their own national headquarters. So all this combined is really a shame that they should allow this kind of thing to happen, especially now that we are going towards the politicking for the 2027 general election. So it's not something that one should cheer about, and I cannot blame the FCDA really, because if you don't give room for a bite, the dog will not come near you.
Well, let's look at this issue first from the angle of the fact that the sealed building, report has it that it is not owned by the People's Democratic Party.
Yeah.
It's a rented apartment. Now, there's no form of a report that says that the People's Democratic Party is owing, have not been able to meet up with its rental activities and all of this. Now, this should be the fault of the owner of the property in this stance, has not been able to meet up with these certain responsibilities. Now, don't you think again that within the period of sealing the property and also the period which notice was given, it looks like a political winch hunting, even which Nigerians will also want to align their thought towards, to say that the FCTA right now, because Wike has come out yesterday, is a case of where the witch cried overnight and the child died in the morning. Wike said something just over the weekend, and of course he has allegedly accused Seyi Makinde of being responsible for some of the mayhaps in the party, as people would like to say. But all of this put together, don't you think again that this is a political winch hunting of the People's Democratic Party?
Well, anybody, in politics, it's just like politics is like war. So many things fail, they say, in war, and so also in politics. But the issue here is, if you are in an apartment that is not yours, and the authorities have said, giving notices that, look, this property is owing ground rent or any form of taxes or revenues to the government, and you did not make effort to get the landlord to sort it out, and you did not make efforts to leave the premises before the expiration of the date given by the authorities, I don't think you have just the people that are actually executing the law of the land.
But Isabel, before, let me just interrupt you there. We have quite a number of buildings that were being affected by all of this ground rent policy that has been discovered by Nyesom Wike. How come the PDP now became the focal point and the central of attraction right now, where if you don't seal it up, won't be able to enforce some of the acts that brought about all of this policy? It for Nigerians to get clarity, you're saying that this is just following the law, or it's a witch hunting?
You see, it is, I can't call it witch hunting, actually, unless the PDP has come out to say that the sealing of their property or their office was because they have paid their rent, and then they have paid the ground rent, and they still seal the place. If they come out with that, we can now say it is witch hunting. But as it is today, I don't see how I can call that witch hunting, because if you are owing me and I decide to come and collect whatever you are owing me, I don't think I am. You will claim that I'm witch hunting you. So the issue is that the PDP should come out and tell us whether they have whether they have any outstanding, or the property has any outstanding, before we can now talk about witch hunting or no witch hunting. But as it stands now, the party has not come out to say that the property in question is not under any kind of obligation, unfulfilled obligation to the FCTA. So that is number one. Number two, you remember that when their land was revoked, the national headquarters was revoked. I up to today, I'm waiting for them to come and present evidence that they have paid, and this happened, so that we can now be able to say it is witch hunting. So as it is now, until they come up with the evidence to say that this thing that happened is actually because the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, has a problem with the party, and that is why he is doing it. Let them come and give us the evidence that they have paid, or that the landlord or the owner of the property have paid, and then we can join them and
by shutting down the premises, there is no way they can have access to documents, because breaking the chains in that particular environment and the vicinity might become an illegal activity, at which the People's Democratic Party might not want to indulge in. In such a scenario as this, without even getting an injunction from court to seal the property, rather the FCT moved to do what it feels it is obliged to do. In such a situation as this, one would begin to ask, if the People's Democratic Party, without a national headquarters to operate from, nowhere to get documents from, is the party right now dead on arrival?
You see, all along, the People's Democratic Party has not even been moving like an opposition party. That is just the truth.
Probably they are not used to being in opposition.
Probably they are not used to being in opposition because they have been too slow, they have been too sluggish, they have been too, they are not forthcoming in terms of fulfilling their duty as the main opposition party in Nigeria. I have not seen what they are doing is just some of these internal bickerings, and you cannot actually put your house in order. And that is a big shame for an opposition party that have come and said that you have been in power before and you want to take over power and you cannot put your house in order. I don't think how that is going to be very feasible by 2027.
So invariably you're saying that without the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party and without a place for them to conduct some of their electionary processes,
they can actually go and rent a new place and start.
When all document has been sealed inside.
The document, they can decide to get a court order since it's not their property.
Without the FCT getting a court order, the PDP getting a property which they don't have a local standing to even sue or be claimed damages or probably compensatory or whatever damage. In this particular case, the landlord have all the rights to sue.
That's the dilemma that the PDP has found.
In a situation of this magnitude, yes, some wicked not even trying to shut the PDP completely and kill the party the way it stands right now.
Well, I think I will not blame anybody for if that is the intention, because in our place they say that is the cock or the fowl that will bring the leg that you use to tie it. So if you grab a fowl or a chicken, as it were, and you see that he will first of all be bringing out the leg, so that he knows that you are going to tie the leg. And that is what the PDP is actually doing. The PDP has, shown itself not to be very, very, very serious in terms of opposition, because you should have known that this kind of things could happen. There had been a kind of a systematic plan to bring the PDP, to a standstill, and you are still, giving rooms for this to happen. No, I think the best thing we can do at this moment is for us to, face the issue as they are, and that is the issues are that one, the PDP have not come out to say we have paid or the owner of the property have paid and we are being witch hunted. Two, the PDP has not come out to say that we were not given notice that there was going to be a sealing of the policies. If these two issues are resolved in a way that the PDP can come out and tell us that, look, these two issues were things that they have done that were not done correctly, then we can now face and say, all right, that this thing was done as a witch hunt. And if it's not in that manner, if the PDP did not actually leave the issues that are here and go and be talking about which one, I don't think that should be something that is tenable. They should actually know that as an opposition party which is being haunted, so to say, you should prepare yourself and know that you should not give room and give any loophole for them to be able to deal with you in the manner that the party is being dealt.
Well, quite an interesting conversation so far, but let's even take this conversation further, looking at the ceiling of the People's Democratic Party. A lot of Nigerians right now will say that this is tilting us towards a one-party state by the FCT minister in connivance with the president are trying to shun Nigerians from having alternative political party, which has always been the cry of Nigerians for the last couple of months right now. Nigeria has been tilted towards a one-party state. Looking at what is playing out right now within the FCT, where a whole national secretariat, without even giving any form of preference to the People's Democratic Party. And the People's Democratic Party's national secretariat, which as it stands right now, can be sealed. There's no hope for the Labour Party. Neither is there hope for the SDP, ADC, and other minority political parties. But looking at all of this, do you think, in your own opinion, does this feel like killing democratical tenets of Nigerian, or trying to ridicule Nigerians to, or try to subject Nigerians to a one-party state?
You see, I wouldn't want to politicize the issue that has to do with the sealing of the PDP National Secretariat, or the revoking of their, property that was under, that had been under construction. I think we should try as much as possible to avoid politicizing some of these issues, because you see, if he who goes to equity must go with clean hands. You cannot be indebted and you now say that the person that you are indebted to should not recover whatever thing that you
even
have.
Though this seems beyond, this looks and seems beyond depth.
Yeah, you can. Well, I don't know, because why I cannot say is beyond depth is that if you were not owing in the first place, I don't think anybody would have come for you. So you cannot say that the creditor is after me because of something, when you are holding the person, and you are holding the person to ransom too, because you are indebted to the person. So this is what we are talking about. Let us face the fact. The fact is, if PDP has any issue, or any political party for that matter has any issue, in fact, I'll be one of the very first person to, raise an alarm. But as it is today, I don't see how I should be talking about political vendetta when you have not fulfilled your own obligation. No, that is not acceptable, and it's not something that we should even encourage in the first place. Because yes, I agree that we have a bad governance, we have problems, we have issues of delivery in terms of governance in Nigeria. But the government also will need funds to be able to execute some of these some of the projects that the citizens are expecting to get. And you will see some billions of naira that is just there, the government is trying to recover. I don't know why it should be an issue of political vendetta. No, it cannot be. I cannot baptize it into a political vendetta. I will look at it as an issue that came up because someone somewhere was negligent to the responsibilities that he was supposed to carry out. And that is not to say that all is well with the opposition. No, I know that the opposition is under attack in Nigeria. The opposition parties are not at their best, and I also know that a lot of movements here and there are ongoing in order for the opposition trying to come together and bring themselves together. But that in itself is something that I don't think is going to come true, because the opposition parties in Nigeria, they are not actually doing well at all.
All right. Well, we'll go for a short break right now. When we'll come back, we'll delve into the second conversation for tonight. Please stay with us as Big Talk continues in a moment.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Welcome back. In a significant development ahead of the 2027 general elections, Atiku Abubakar coalition has unveiled leaders from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. The leaders are Northeast Atiku Abubakar, North Central David Mark, Northwest Nasir El-Rufai, South-South Rotimi Amechi, Southeast Peter Obi, Southwest Rauf Aregbesola. This strategic move is seen as a bid to strengthen coalition's presence across the country and potentially shake up the political landscape in 2027. The announcement has generated buzz among political analysts and stakeholders, with many speculating about the implications for the upcoming elections. But right now we're talking about various coalitions across the country. But then let's even bring this conversation back to you, Ezema. Of course, I'm looking at what's happening right now, where various political parties are coming together and they're trying to even use ADC, which is the African Democratic Congress, as the driver for all of their coalition strategy. On the other hand, SDP has now been divided into two, where they now have a faction of the SDP. The ADC right now is also not even in its right frame of mind. The Labour Party has been divided into 3 different houses: the Abure, the Namadi, and the rest other factions of the Labour Party. The PDP is still having internal democratic tussle. Looking at this coalition, which the general party members are not even agreeing to, but just being moved by presidential candidates of the 2023 election who perhaps are not satisfied with the outcome of the election. When you look at all of these, do you think that this is a formidable force for Nigerians to even want to subscribe or be able to even align their thought with?
Well, you see, any form of coalition in Nigeria is going to be Herculean, in the sense that you are talking of a country where the incumbent has a firm grip of the state apparatus, have a firm grip of probably the INEC itself, and you want to come together and you want to take over power from such incumbent. You must be very prepared. You know, you should be well prepared, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a uhuru. It's not going to be something that you will wake up one morning and you achieve. So it is not impossible, yes, but it is a Herculean task. It's a task that takes mere coming together of people. It's a task that requires actionable plans, an actionable strategy that you are able to, implement in order to, form a formidable coalition that will be able to mobilize and get Nigerians to vote. Most people in the country, yes, they are disenchanted with the government. They are not happy with the administration. But you know that is not just enough, because in Nigeria, as it is today, the civil society is virtually dead, in comatose. And if the civil society is in comatose in a country, in a democracy of this nature, you know that the country has a long way to go, so it is the opposition, they actually have to deal first with the issue of how do they mobilize the civil society, to be able to go all out to sensitize and get people who are actually docile. Some people, as what Fela called suffering and smiling. Everywhere you go, people are suffering. People feel bad, but yet they are smiling. At the little token, they are ready to sell their vote. They are ready to trade whatever conscience they have in order to be able to get a meal for the day. So, and that is where the issue is. If the opposition is going to really achieve their purpose of forming a coalition, I think they are going to first of all deal with the issues that has to do with reviving the civil society, and then also awakening the docile citizens, and then mobilizing them for them to be able to vote and vote out an incumbent.
But James, Ezima, let's look at the figures again. We've said that Atiku Abubakar is representing the Northeast.
Yeah.
We have David Mark at the North Central. Yeah. Nasir El-Rufai in the Northwest. Yeah. South, Rotimi Amechi, Southeast, Peter Obi, and also the Southwest, Rauf Aregbesola. Yes. All of these names are very resounding within the Nigerian political space. But then, it's as if for the last 8 years, these names have not become forces to reckon with. With this coalition and these individuals representing their various geopolitical zone, can Nigerians beat their chest to say that this coalition, if pulled through, will be solid and formidable for Nigerians to even want to say we are back in this coalition?
You see, these individuals, they are actually notable individuals. They are individuals that have a level of influence within their zones. But it is the issue for a successful coalition is beyond having individuals that have influence within their zones. There's a lot to be done because if you look at it, it's not, Nigerians are not are so divided that you cannot just wake up one morning and announce as a leader or a member of the coalition and say, everybody come and follow me. They will ask you questions. Because the citizens, as it is today, we have had our hands burnt. We have had our hands burnt. We have trusted some leaders, and at the end of the day, they get into office, they will betray the trust, and they go and do whatever they wanted to do. Let's take, for instance, the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari. The coming in 2014-2015 was supported by the masses of the country, and the citizens actually went out of their way. They did not want to listen to anybody who was saying anything to the contrary. They said that former President Muhammad Buhari was the messiah that we are looking for. And when he eventually got to office, he acted for 8 years as though nothing was at stake, as though there were no citizens who supported, as though there were no, poor masses who came out to vote for him. And that is what we're talking about. So most times, as it is now, people should not think that just because some big names are being mentioned, that people will just come out and say, let us go and follow them. Questions are already being asked, because this coalition, where is it headed to? Is it headed towards producing someone as a presidential candidate? And if this is going to produce someone as a presidential candidate, is this person going to be acceptable to the ordinary citizens? Because it's not enough. See, if you have followership, and based on the experiences that we have had in recent times, and those followership discover that the where you are heading towards is a nowhere, they will not follow you. I can tell you that, because I personally have talked with some people. I have sampled opinion here and there, and the people are now looking at who will lead the coalition. So if the wrong person is leading the coalition, that is the end of the coalition. And if the coalition eventually fails, it means that votes is going to be splitted, and if votes are going to be splitted, there's no way you will defeat the incumbent.
Well, looking at this whole coalition process, one will begin to ask, are you sure that the opposition right now are ready for a coalition, going by the various division and the various factions that have formed opposition political parties right now in Nigeria? I just gave an instance of that of Labour Party, and currently what's going on within the home of the this is the home of
the coalition. See, let me tell you. You see, Nigeria is such a diverse society. We have the religious side of the politics in Nigeria. We have the tribal side of the politics in Nigeria. Then we will now have the individuals who people will want to associate with, and those whom people will not want to associate with when it comes to issues that has to do with dealing with dividend of democracy, because that is actually what is at stake. What is at stake now is that the people are hungry, people are tired, people are weak, people want a better life, but they will not want to jump into the bandwagon as they did in 2014, 2015 that took them to nowhere. So the opposition will have a lot of convincing to do for the people to actually go for them. Yes, if it comes to the yearning of the Nigerian people are yearning that they need a change, not the kind of change of 2014, 2015, but the real change that will meet their needs, meet their demand, meet those things that they are yearning for. Because they are, take it or leave it, the average Nigerian wants food, he wants water, he wants good roads, he wants electricity, and these things are basic things that are nowhere. There is no housing in Nigeria. Despite all the housing plans and everything, none is within the reach of the common person. So the ordinary person is having his apartment, the rent being increased on daily basis, and it is becoming more serious. And I can tell you that there are several Nigerians who are in their numbers who cannot actually feed themselves. I can tell you that some people can hardly take a meal a day, hardly take a meal a day today. And these are the people who are talking about. They want to follow, but they don't want to follow sheepishly like they did in the past. And that is where the coalition, those who are spearheading the coalition have a whole lot of work to do.
Well, James, let's begin with some of the names that we have on the screen. But we'll begin from the southeast, which is Peter Obi, as it stands right now. About 2 weeks ago, Peter Obi has come out to say that he's not interested in any coalition. The only coalition he's interested in is a coalition against hunger, against poverty, against lack, bad governance. That's the only coalition he's interested. I was saying Peter Obi also come out at various occasions to say that he is still with the Labour Party. He's not leaving the Labour Party. He represents the Labour Party. And just on Sunday, which is just a few days ago or so, we've seen Peter Obi also come out to say that he is ready to work with the Northern Bloc. As a matter of consensus, he still believes that the Northerners still have what it takes to rescue Nigeria. With all of this conversation coming from a man who Nigerians, a lot of Nigerian youths rooted for in terms of presidency, as of the last election for 2023. We saw how Nigerian youth were protesting, carried out 1 million obedient march across Lagos, across Port Harcourt, and various parts of the country. With this double-sidedness of Peter Obi, asked one of the coalition member from the southeastern part of Nigeria, should we trust Peter Obi first as an individual? Then again, with this double-sidedness, as it seems, or allegedly seems, Should we trust this coalition movement and not to return power back to the North, which has been the fear of majority of Nigerians?
You see, like I said earlier, you know, this coalition and their members have to earn the trust of Nigerians. Nigerians have had people come, you know, form alliances and mergers, and at the end of the day, they hoodwink them, bamboozle them, and give them all kinds of promises. And at the end of the day, we will end up, you know, gnashing our teeth as we have done in the last like nearly 10 years. You know, so it is something that they will have a lot of work to do to earn the trust of Nigerians, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like in 2014 when the APC, the APC was formed, you know, through a merger, and then at the end of the day, they came and gave us all kind of mouth-watering promises that at the end of the day, none of those promises were delivered. In fact, it got to a point that the then President Muhammad Buhari said that he never promised Nigeria anything, and actually he ended up his tenure without doing anything, that because he never promised anything, and that is what we are talking about. So when before in the build up to that 2025 and 2015 general election, especially the presidential election, there were promises that were made by the APC. The APC told us how they will end corruption, how they are going to, you know, bring an end to insecurity in the country within 6 months. And 8 years passed, insecurity is still there with us. We are still counting another 2 years, and insecurity is still there with us. And rather than the insecurity being dealt with squarely and brought down to the lowest level, we have seen this insurgents, you know, transforming into different, you know, metamorphosing into bandits, herdsmen, and others, and things like that. And you discover that even within this whole insecurity issue is the Fulani people as a people, and then you see that they are even having issues. You know, because when somebody comes to you and identify himself as a Fulani, then you will now begin to think about herdsmen and things like that, and that is a very bad thing for the Fulanis. And then I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, look, you see, the Fulanis will end up becoming worse placed within the Nigerian space than the Igbo person. Because why? You know, there is always a stereotype. When a particular tribe is stereotyped into certain ways, you know, you discover that it will become difficult for them to relate and associate with the rest of the people. And that is the very dangerous thing that we have to avoid. Let's see how we avoid stereotyping criminality as making it to look as if it is a tribal issue. No, let us begin to deal with the issues the way they are, and then be able to remove, you know, tribal coloration to some of these criminalities, so that we can be able to face the enemies of the ordinary people. Go and check it. You see that these are people, young people, poor people being recruited to kill poor people. And have you seen where they are, the insecurity, they are going to, you know, deal with anybody that who is one of those higher and mighty within the government? No, they just go down to the same suffering people and attack suffering people and bring them down.
Well, James, just before as we begin to pack our things to leave the studio, the coalition tend to be tilted again towards the northern part of Nigeria. As a political analyst, using the lens of a political scientist and a political analyst, do you see Nigeria returning back, power returning back to the north come 2027?
Well, you see, the thing is that the truth of it is that as Nigeria is today, there is no one part of the country that can produce a president of Nigeria.
But in your own opinion right now, with the coalition in place,
but the coalition cannot be able to succeed without the support of the North.
Do you see the power going back to the North?
Well, it depends on what is agreed among them. You know, these people are political gladiators. They can come together and they decide
with the lens,
whatever they want.
of a political
But I don't see,
yeah.
I don't see where power should be going back to the north when actually an incumbent is from the south. I don't think that is going to help the coalition, because it won't actually help the coalition. It will actually help to make the coalition you know, not to be effective. Because if you want to take power from a southerner as it is today, as an incumbent, I don't think if you are going to field a northerner as as the best bait for you to be able to capture power. If you do that, I'm sure that it will not work.
Well, we'll continue to talk about this coalition because we've seen a lot of evolution happening within the coalition space from one party to another, while people will say that the ADC is not the right party for people to bring in as the motto or the vehicle that would drive the coalition. People will say that bring in the SDP, bring in the ZLP and bring in other political parties to drive the coalition. But so far, so good. We've not been able to arrive at any point even with the coalition from the opposition camp. But I want to say thank you so much, James Ezema, for being a part of the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go this evening with Big Talk. Do remember that you can join the conversation on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. Use it at Global TV NG. And you can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our various broadcasts. My name is Godwin Sunday. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Up next is News Prime. Please stay with Global Television. And from all of us here from the Big Talk crew, it's bye for now.